new. I started this new. Oh, I like this. This is a new Apple stream. What's it? Stream yard. I like this. I kind of like this because you can like channel into. Uh oh. I'm up here playing around. I'm supposed to be talking to y'all, and I'm up here playing around with this. This is pretty cool. Like a big old freaky kid in a candy store. I need to stop. Okay, let me get started. I'm really look, guys. I'm really a simple person. To, simplicity and stuff like that. I really am. And slight things make impresses me and stuff that children they be like, oh my gosh, they be all excited about it. You just be looking at it like, okay. But for me, I'd be excited about stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Let me see. Okay, this one right here. Let me hold it, put this one. I'm actually using three different cameras. I actually can do four, but I'm using three cameras right now. But anyway, nevertheless, greetings, blessings everyone. This is yours truly, this is Chance Warburton, aka all that Chance, aka Lucas Slayer, coming to you guys live in my humble look my living room. And so why is everybody sticking out like this? I need you to cooperate. Sheesh. It's rough being in one thing. Everything, hair, nails, all that kind of stuff. But tonight we're going to talk. I'm asking a question. This is an interaction. I need people to participate. Okay. I need your feedback. I need your 2 cents. If you're watching me on Facebook Live, what in the world? And you want to join, or if you're watching on Instagram Live and you want to join, and give me your opinion, let me know. I'm gonna have to get up. I have, you know what? I got a remote that I can control. Like I don't have to get up. I can just like move my cursor and point on stuff. I forgot about it. I don't even know where it's at. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But anywho, um, the question is her femininity his enmity? A lot of people are like, what in the world do that mean? Some people probably say that. A lot of, more than likely, pretty much everybody probably know about that. But what I mean by that is I know from my own personal experience, I'm a very girly type female, but at the same time, I'm kind of rough around the edges. I'm tomboyish. I'm a pretty tomboy. Like I like to build stuff. I love tools. Like I'm not a person that you have to get handbags for and buy the latest pair of shoes for, and I like things like tools, and I like little journals and e-pens and high fashions, like simple little things like that. Those are things that are like, well, tools. Not so little, because I be like machinery too, because I like to build stuff. I like to build furniture and just make little crafts and stuff out of wood. I like pottery. I just like to design stuff. Right? That's me. I'm a designer. I love to design great, beautiful things. So for me, I like to get things that I can use to build stuff with, and that and something that from, and I'm just going to be, I normally don't talk too much about my personal life, but because of this topic, I have to bring this up, or it's like irrelevant for me to even talk about it. Okay, my previous relationship, my ex. is a technology junkie. He loves devices and he's very good at it. That's something that he has a very niche, good niche in, and I try to support him in it and stuff, and encourage him, to pursue it as a career in his own business and stuff like that. But he kept saying he didn't have the confidence and stuff. I tried to get him to do his business card, just trying to motivate him and everything. But no matter how much you try to motivate somebody, if they're not ready, then it's not ready. So, needless to say, that is his niche. That is his thing. Me, I'm a handy person. He's not really a handy person. Like I like to build stuff. I like to put things together, assemble things, tear things apart, rebuild them, and things of that nature. So that's what I like to do. So um, he had his gig and I had my thing. Now, this is the thing that caused us to clash. He's introducing me to what he likes, and it's fascinating because I like technology. I like devices. I love to be able to operate stuff and talk to Alexa or Siri or whoever, Bob or whatever the other guys the male needs to talk to these things, right? And you can give a command and it'll do it. So I like the fact that I can lay there and be like, dim lights, turn lights on, bright lights, play this song, turn on this thermostat. Like I like all of this. This was his thing. And like I said, he was real good at it. He checked out his place where he could just control stuff from apps and through his voice command. And that's all good and fine. And he's very passionate about it. And I understand that. And I never tried to hinder that. But where we clash at is that his passion, because I didn't express that same passion, he took it offensively. He took it even though he know that I'm in 1% for support for him because I'm the one that was trying to get him to get his website up and help him get business cards, build up his clientele and all of that stuff. I was backing him up all the way. So it was never anything against what he was doing, and I never had any problem supporting him full speed ahead. Whatever I could do to help him succeed, I was willing to do it. However, on the other part of that, he forgot I also have my dreams and my goals. I have my passions and I have what I like to do too. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm so sorry I cannot see who's viewing right now. I'm using StreamYard to stream live on Facebook. So I can't really see who is watching. So for anybody who's watching, well, let me see something. Hold on. I might be able to. I feel falling out down instead of like he's drunk. I might be able to. Let me see. Okay, let me minimize the screen because I have the screen in full view. I have full screen, so let me exit and maybe I can see who is watching live on Facebook. Um, let's see. View on Facebook. Okay, let me do this on Facebook. So then maybe I can see who is watching and who may be leaving comments and stuff of that. Okay, so I can't do it because I have to, it says I have to keep it closed. So I can't do it and I'm using my other devices. So again, if you're watching um, and I can't see you, that's why. So forgive me. I'm not ignoring anybody or nothing like that. This is something I'm getting used to. This is new for me. So I'm really trying to, because this is new for me, I'm learning I'm learning as I go. So I thank you all for being patient with me. Just this is trial error, and I like doing stuff like this. I'm so authentic. Like I like just being. Let me see what this says. It says create banner. So I want to see what it's going to do. I create a banner. I wonder if it's going to. I like this, guys. Oh, okay. Let me get back focused. All right, but okay. So on in that, you know, he forgot that I have my passions and my loves too. Because even though, yeah, we can work, but the thing about it is like because he does deal with technology. Hi, Shatima. How are you? Thanks for watching. Because he is into technology. Um, there's a lot of things we could incorporate it. Our both our passions. His passion, we could have banded them together and create something very beautiful and something very wonderful. But I don't think he saw it that way. I think because he just based on things that he would say things like, "Oh, you're being cocky," or "You don't, you don't seem to be doing this," and you seem like you're not allowing me to do to express this, and it was never anything like that. I've never ever had a problem with him expressing himself and showing who he is and doing, I actually wanted him to, and I would actually encourage him to. I would always, you know, I'd be like, you should try doing this, that, and the other. You should, you're real talented in this and stuff. But his thing was, he was always saying that he was insecure about stepping out, and he wasn't comfortable with doing that at the time. So I what else could I do? So we started clashing primarily on that, but and it was just that he likes to teach. He's a teacher. And then no, I know it seems like I'm doing this whole video about my ex, but it really isn't. I have to address this part because I'm going by my own experience, and I promise you, I'm going to get to why you'll see why I brought all this other stuff up. Because what ended up happening is, in the process of all of that, he started perceiving it like I was being dominating or I was being too controlling or aggressive because he's the type he likes to show you and teach you things. And a lot of the things but the thing is, there was a lot of stuff he did introduce me to, like he introduced me to kiwash, couscous. Well, I already knew about those things, but I never tried them, I never ate them, or anything like that. So there was things that he was able to introduce me to, and I was fine with it, and I embraced it and everything. However, unfortunately, he started looking at it as if I did not appreciate. It wasn't. I wasn't appreciative of what he was doing, and that was the case. Very appreciative of what he was doing and what he brought to the table, but because I just wasn't expressing myself as passionately as he desired me to for what he wanted, he took it offensively. And it's not that because to be honest with you, I actually put everything that I was doing on the side so that I could help focus on what he was doing, but he didn't see that. And unfortunately, a lot of times that is what happens with in relationships when you have people, they misconstrue and they misjudge what you're doing and what you're saying. They misinterpret it because of their own insecurities. And that's what it really is when it boils down to it. It was his own insecurities. And he had even acknowledged that, it was his own insecurities and that's why he felt the way he did and that's why he was the way he was. And you know. But in the process of that, this is something where he messed up, and a lot of guys do this. A lot of guys do this, and I don't say this in a disrespectful way, but whenever you're having an issue or what you perceive as an issue um, in your relationship, you never go to someone of the opposite gender. Even if you just be like, oh, I just want to say hi, never do that, because what you do is you open up a whole can of worms. It's just like don't play with fire. When you play with fire in any form of fashion, and all it takes is a little bit of fire, a little small fire can erupt and turn into a big, huge, vast fire. And for short, just to try to keep it short and simple, that's pretty much what happened. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, it resolved with us no longer being together. Okay, because a lot of things transpired behind his own insecurities and transpired because of his assumptions and his fears and his um, emotions and things. And we can't allow our emotions. And let me tell you, I had to learn that. It took me a long time to learn that, but I had to learn not to allow my emotions to make decisions for me. Because when you allow your emotions to make decisions for you, you always, 9 times out of 10, will make the wrong decision. And sometimes those decisions you can't rebound from, or those decisions can cause you to sabotage a really good and healthy relationship, or it can cause you to jeopardize a great opportunity for you, or and things like that. So for me, I was taken aback by it and everything, and I was very disappointed because, when you make plans, we were in a relationship for a long time. It wasn't like, okay, we just got in this relationship and, this is just going to be a one-time thing. This is going to be something to do. No, we had planned a whole life together, and I actually, when you do that, you prepare your life and yourself to be able to accommodate that plan that you and your significant other or your spouse has made for each other and together. So unfortunately, things just went downhill because of his misinterpretation. And then not only that, people who really didn't know me, they thought they knew me, family members, friends who thought that they knew me, they were in his ear telling him things, and it was completely opposite. Like, and when I'm that's another thing too. When it comes to communication, when your significant other, your spouse, is telling you, no, that's not how it is, and you're still listening to everybody else instead of listening to your significant other, your spouse, you have already made a decision that at that point in time, that nothing that your spouse or significant other is saying is relevant. You have pretty much just cast them to the side and taken on what everybody else has said. And that's what you're choosing to do. You're choosing them over, you know, and their opinions and their point of views and things over what your significant other is telling you. Especially if your significant other specifically telling you things like, to be honest with you, for the first 2 years, everything was really good. The problems started happening when he got roommate with a particular family member. That's when things started happening, and he was trying to act like that's not it. No, we were doing better at the beginning. You get to know, you're still trying to figure each other out and get each other's habits, and you really don't know a person until you live with them. So as we were living together and stuff, and then there were some things that were going on with him that he was not telling me about. Like for me, I let him know I have dyslexia. I see things backwards sometimes. I may say things backwards, read things backwards, or whatever. Do things what is considered backwards or awkwardly or whatever. I was honest and upfront about. certain things that I have challenge with my cognitive. He wasn't. So there was things that he would do, and it it wasn't because that he did it, but because it was putting us in life threatening situations. And yes, if I'm in the car with you and you're driving in a way that is dangerous and reckless, not just to me, but even other people looking at us, they're blowing their horns and stuff. I'm going to say something because this is my life. I don't want to be in a car accident. I don't want to be hit and wrecked up and banged up in a car accident. I do not want that kind of trauma. So yeah, I would react. Now I will say how I reacted, the way I addressed it was not right because I became frustrated because I kept saying it to him. I kept repeating it. It's just like when you constantly repeat the same thing over and over again to your significant other, to your spouse, and they're not listening, you have a tendency to become very irritated and frustrated with them. And so your presentation the next time, it's not going to be tactful, it's not going to be gentle, it's not going to be nice, it's not going to be kind. You're going to just be raw with it and just not caring how it comes out and how it sounds. And that was the thing. Let me see. Thank you, Shatima. That's true. That's why I don't even date like right now because I have too much that I'm going through with my health, and I know that it can become too much. It became too much in my previous relationship. It became too much with everything else that was already going on prior to that. In my health, when my health started declining, that's when you really find out what people are, what that's what other I put it this way, it's not necessarily just for you to find out, but that's when people really find out what they're really made out of and how they really are as a person. If you want to really know how you are as a person, when you're in a relationship or a marriage and your significant other or spouse start having physical disabilities or start having traumatic issues and trauma and health issues, that's when you really start finding out if a person is really for you or not. Hi, thanks for watching. Let me see, who's this? Hi, Sophie. Thanks for watching. Um, and so, yeah, you do get frustration, team. I'm sorry, I have to get up and see because I'm far back. I should have brought my reading glasses so I didn't have to get up and look. I forgot my reading glasses. Okay, but those. That's why I said. That's why I named entitled this segment is Her Femininity His Enmity, because a lot of times we as women we are there. We can be very emotional and passionate about things that we care about and that we love. But one thing I've learned to do is thoroughly express myself to a person, especially that I'm in a relationship with. I want to make things clear. That way, it could never be said, well, I never knew this. Well, you never told me this. I was never shy when it came to communicating with my ex significant other. I always was upfront with him. I was always direct with him. I was always forthcoming with him. Hi, thanks for watching, guys. I'm sorry I can't like interact with you all because, as you all can see, I'm sitting way back here. But I really do appreciate everybody for watching and tuning in. So with that happened, I'm going to because I feel like this when you're in a relationship, especially after you've been in a relationship with somebody 2+ years, it's time now for you to whatever secrets that you may have had or you thought you got, just tell it. Just be upfront about it. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't be around the bush. Don't mislead because it's going to eventually surface. And when it surfaces, you can't then get upset because of the way the person responds to you. they're going to respond to you that way because you caught them by surprise. You can't just bombard surprises, certain things on people, and then expect for them to just be like, oh, that's it, okay, water in the fridge, let's go. No, especially when it's something that can potentially or will affect your relationship, or you will have to navigate in your relationship a different way because of whatever situation that you have going on in at the time. So for me, it was really important that I have communication. And that's what something with my ex was very bad about. He didn't communicate, he vented. He got frustrated. He would vent instead of talking. Let's talk. And my thing is, in my previous relationship, one of the things that, and this, I don't want no, I don't know how to really, I can't tell people not to perceive the person as a certain way. I could just only just explain to you all what happened, and then I'm going to get into some other things, and maybe that'll make everything else more clear too. But my thing is, you have to be able to communicate with a person, not being out at them because you get frustrated, because you don't know how to process your thoughts and stuff. It. I understand it can be a struggle, but you don't punish somebody that you're with for whatever struggles that you're having, cognitively, physically, emotionally, whatever. You don't lash out at that person and then start blaming them for something that was going on with you before they even knew that you ever existed. And this is where this comes in. The enmity part of the man comes in. The enmity of a man, if he have experienced something bad in a relationship or a marriage prior to you, oftentimes, people are like, oh, I'm past that, I'm over that. Well, he wasn't, because I actually pulled away at the very beginning of our relationship. I left him like two or three different times because he was always comparing me to his ex-wife. He was always comparing me to her in so many ways, and then he would start comparing me to his mom. But every time he would compare me to them, it was always something derogative and something negative. So I flat out told him, I said, look, you have some unresolved issues, obviously, and you're not over your ex. I don't want to be your emotional punching bag. And that happens a lot in relationships. You become a person's emotional punching bag because they have not been able to deal with or get over things that they have experienced with someone of the opposite gender, whether it's a mother, their aunt, a grandmother, an ex-wife, an ex-girlfriend. And that's what was happening. He was lashing out at me for all of the bad decisions and bad situations and regrets or disappointments he had with with his relationship with his own mom and with his relationship with his ex-wife. He lashed it out on me and took it out on our relationship. And as a result of that, he started making very bad and inconsiderate decisions and choices. He started reaching out to other females, which caused him to eventually start cheating. And even to the point where he had plotted to leave. He was just going to abandon me, just leave. But I found out about the other woman, and we both addressed him at the exact same time while he was in bed sleep. She came over, and we addressed his ass about it. And it was just a lot of things that transpired out of that because of the fact that my femininity, you know, I don't want to say it was a threat, but he could not appreciate my femininity. He could not appreciate the fact that I'm there to support him because he was not used to that. He couldn't support the fact that I was willing to put my own career and my goals and dreams on the side and let him shine and put him on the pedestal and make him shine. He couldn't handle that because he never had that before. He never had a female, a woman who was really genuinely there for him and not for what he could do for him. Because I will put it to you this way, probably about 90% of the time that he gave me money, I always turned around and spent that money on him or something in his household or something that benefited him. I rarely spent money that he gave to me on myself. I always was spending money to help build this man up. You know, so he was not used to that. And so he took it as an insult or a threat or took it as a weakness and he didn't know how to appreciate and process it. So he was never appreciative of what I did. He didn't know how to show gratitude and have gratitude for the person that I am and the love that I have for him. He didn't know how to handle it because he never had it before. So he was not used to communicating, effective communication. He was used to arguing. He was used to dysfunctionality. He was used to chaos, used to, just a bunch of drama. And I was none of that. So he was not able to accept and process my femininity and realize it and see it as a good thing. He saw it as something negative and a threat and something derogative instead of as something good and positive and beneficial. And then there's an age difference. He's 11 years younger than me. So there was their age difference there too. So my mindset was on something totally different, and I let him know up front. And that's the thing, like everything he could never say. I never told him this, and I never told him. I was always upfront with him, and I let him know. Now you're with the older woman. I ran from this man for about almost an entire year. I cursed him out and everything, told him leave me the hell alone. I wasn't. It's like, and he pursued me very aggressively. He kept pursuing me, kept pursuing me. I gave him the chance. We made it 4.5 years. With two and a half of those years being tumultuous and being dysfunctional and chaotic because he did not know how to process and deal with his emotions. He didn't know how to appreciate a woman who has his best interest in her and that was genuinely there for him, not for what he could do for her or what he had and all of this stuff. And he wasn't used to that. And then he didn't know how to compromise and realize just because I have my separate passions from yours does not mean that I'm looking down on you and looking down on your passions and don't have, you know, confidence in you or anything. Because if I didn't have confidence in you, I would be encouraging you. I used to always tell him, start your YouTube channel. Look at the stuff that you be doing. I would record him, video record him, fixing cell phones, fixing laptops, and I would always tell him, you need, when you're doing this, you need to be recording yourself and put it on YouTube with your YouTube channel. Talk about the different devices. Talk about the, you fix with the ring system and doing your security system, and and checking out your house, like where he do voice commands and stuff. He set all of that stuff up. I'm like, let's record this and put it on YouTube. He never wanted to do it because he said he didn't have the confidence. So no matter how much I was trying to encourage this man, and no matter how much I was trying to support him, he was not able to receive it and appreciate it because of his enmity and his insecurities and him not able to appreciate and knowing how to appreciate and identify a woman who really is genuinely there for him and love him. And the three different women he cheated on me with, he's not even with none of them. I don't know if they're together now. I don't know. But when we broke, they don't even socialize anymore, to my knowledge. You know, I haven't spoken to him in a long time. It's been almost a year. Yeah, he did have big time mommy issues. Exactly. That's right, Shatima. That's true. Efren, he did have mama issues. He still have mama issues, don't you? Oh, let me tell you what happened. Just to kind of put this out there. He was not even talking to his mom when we met. I'm the one that got him and his mom back talking. And now they have a really good relationship. But now I see why they had so many problems in their relationship. And I'm just not going to go in details about that because I'm not going to expose what they have going on in, you know, his mom business and his business and that family dynamic. But let's just say I now understand. I'm not saying it makes it right because he was 100% fully aware what he was doing and he made conscious decisions and choices to do what he did. However, I can kind of understand why his mind process and the way he thinks is the way he why he thinks the way he did because he would all even though he will always say we have a lot of me and his mom have similar ways. This is the things that he compared us though. It was never to me. I didn't take it as a bad thing. He saw it as a bad thing. His mom, she's one of those people that likes to know everything in detail beforehand. She don't like to be caught by the element of surprise and have stuff at last minute unscrambled and have things chaotic. I'm like that too. I need to know what's what. I need to know the directives. I need to know how much something's going to cost, what the weight. You know, I need specific details, and she's like that. So that was one of the things he compared us to, and that was he made it into something negative instead of something positive. His mom is outspoken, very blunt. She said what she means and mean what she says. So am I. Outspoken, blunt, say what I mean what I say. He saw it as he took it as something derogatory. So there's number two, where he compared me to his mom in a negative light on something that's not negative, but he perceived it as something negative. Three, something that he compared me to that his mom do is give him constructive criticism. He loves to criticize everybody else. He likes to critique people and everything, but he don't like for nobody to critique him or criticize him, especially a woman. So those three top things were things that he perceived as something negative, but were not negative. But because he perceived it that way, and he that was the choice that he made, it caused a lot of things to happen. So is a woman's femininity a man's enmity? It can be if he is not emotionally strong and mature, if he's not spiritually strong and mature, if he's not mentally strong and mature, it is. And so he he's very proficient in everything else, in a lot of other things in areas of the relationship. Like he was one thing he always made sure that I ate. He would make sure that I was clothed. He made sure that I was doing all the providing. He's a good provider, you know, making sure the bills are paid, making sure things are taken care of, you know, handling business affairs. He's very proficient with a lot of things on that level when it comes to your direct necessities of livelihood. He's very on point with that. But when it came to the emotional and the at a spiritual portion of things, he was not proficient in it and he wasn't good at it. And again, there's an 11-year age difference, and he was in a relationship, but his first marriage, he was in, he got married very, very young, and he was in that marriage for about 7 to 8 years. And then we met, and he was just coming out of a tumultuous marriage and very high volatile marriage. And I told him at that time that I told him, I said, you're not ready to be in a relationship with someone. I said, I don't want to be, I don't want you to have any regrets. And then later on, years down the line, next thing you know, you are here cheating and you're doing stuff, or you feel like the grass is green on the other side, and then I be abandoned and now I have to deal with all this hurt. He promised me up and down that would never happen. Um, at the beginning of our relationship, we were still, getting our feet wet. I found some things, he was being very flirtatious and doing things that he shouldn't be doing, even though it was physically with someone, virtually, you know what I'm saying? So, but when I told him I'm leaving, I'm done, I said, it's early, we haven't even been together a week. By this time, I was like, I'm just going to walk away because you're not ready. I told you wasn't ready before. You even tried to initiate us being in here becoming an item. You wasn't ready. I said you just got into a long marriage and you haven't had time for you. That's what I told him. I said you haven't even had time for yourself. So I don't want to be caught up in a relationship with someone who later on down the line realized that he got into a relationship too soon, and then I'm the one that have to deal with the hurt and the pain, and going through all of the emotional trauma that comes along with that. He kept promising me it would never happen, and it happened. After finally giving this man the opportunity and the chance, this is what ended up happening. So this is important to talk about, and the reason why I'm discussing this because you have men out there, they're not necessarily bad people, but they have made very bad and poor decisions. And it's not just men that do that. You have women that do that too. They'll meet a really good man. I mean, like, this man is pretty much their dream come true. But because they cannot appreciate a man that is good like that, because they don't know how to appreciate a man that's good, like they don't know how to value it because they never had it. They'll sabotage the relationship. They'll sabotage the marriage, or they'll take his kindness and his goodness as a weakness, and she'll run all over him. She'll talk to him any kind of way. She'll abuse him. She'll mistreat him, cheat on him, do all kind of crazy stuff. And you know, men do men who don't know how to appreciate a good woman, and men who are very self-centered, who are narcissistic, who are manipulative, along with being emotionally unbalanced. That is a dangerous combination. He is not going to be able to ever appreciate anyone. It doesn't matter. Okay, he leave you, he go get somebody else. He ain't gonna be able to appreciate her either until he's ready. This is something I hate when people say, and I know people say that because you've heard the stories where people be like, oh, but it was something about him particularly, it was something about her particularly that made me want to come. No, for to me, this is just my opinion. To each his or her own. It's not necessarily that it was something particular about that person. It's just that when a person is ready to be loved and they're finished with playing games and they really want to be dedicated and be faithful and be loyal and they're finished with all of the crap that they were dealing with, they finally faced their fears, their demons, finally dealt with whatever issues they had going on with them in previous relationships. or marriages where they were with someone who was extremely good to them, too good to them, better than they deserve. What ended up happening is their guards are down now, and they don't have that shield up anymore. So when they end up meeting this person, it'll seem like it was something particularly about this particular person that caused them to want to settle down, caused them to want to grow up, caused them to want to mature, because nobody can make you do that. I don't care how motivating a person is. If you're not ready to be motivated, nobody can motivate you. If you're not ready um, to, 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 to own up to your respons or own up to things and take responsible responsibility accountability for things, nobody can make you. So it's not necessarily that it was that person that motivate. They probably motivated, but they could not make you, because I've been motivated with a lot of stuff, but I wasn't ready to make that move. I didn't make it. Even though I got the motivation to do it, people motivated me. It's not until a person is ready. And some people, it doesn't matter who comes in and out their life until they are ready to accept love and truly be loved. They're going to keep running, whether it's male or female. But oftentimes, men run from love. Men run for love from love because, for one, some men, and I won't even just say men. Let me just say people. Some people run from love, regardless, male or female. For one, either some of them, when they realize that other people are really interested in them and they actually are attracted, other people are really attracted to them, it boosts their ego and their confidence and their self-esteem, and they get too proud for it and they forget and they start being disrespectful because they realize, oh, I can move on. I don't have to be with you. Oh, there's other men out here, there's other women out here. I can easily find someone else. True, but you'll never find another one of me. One of a kind is one person. You'll never find another one of me. So you have people, they'll move on, and they're what they do is they start becoming cocky and reckless because they're like, oh shoot, man, okay, well, I can't have my way with her. Oh, I can't have my way with him. That's okay. I move to the next. And let me tell you what ended up happening is then you start. That's when a person allows themselves to do that and to just start going out here messing around with this person, that person. They have completely lost themselves. They now have what they have done is given in to their weaknesses. And when you give into weaknesses, you're not strong. It takes a strong person to be able to look and not touch. It takes a strong person to say, okay, I already know. As long as I live, I want to see someone who may feel or look and sound better than what I have at home or who I'm with now, but it doesn't mean that it is. Even if the relationship works, you will still never have that complete and wholeness with that other person like you did with the one that you left for no reason. So that's why I say it's her femininity, his enmity, enmity. Because oftentimes, for some reason, a lot of men seem like they cannot handle the femininity of a woman, or they take it as a weakness, or they just see it as I can just have my cake and eat it too, so why not? She'll get over it as if you have the right to emotionally scar someone, like you have the. It's almost like I'm privileged. I don't care how I treat this person. I don't care how I leave them, and how devastated it is, and leave them to pick up the pieces. You got to be careful when you do that because karma always come back around. And even if they say they move on, they get in and they marry, you have good successful marriage, have children, and all of that stuff, and everything's wonderful. some way, somehow, down the line, whether it's with him or her or their children, somewhere down the line, all that stuff that they did to somebody is going to come back on them. And it's going to happen so suddenly and so unexpectedly. It's going to just seem like this is just something that happened. They're never put two and two together a lot of times. This is from when I treated this person like this 10 years ago. This is from when I did this person like that 2 years ago. A lot of times they don't put the pieces or the puzzles together. They just feel like it's just life. Things just happen. Or is it something they're going through? No, you're paying. Karma has caught up with you and you're paying for the things that you did. It's called consequences for your actions. So, yeah, but I want to give me your opinion about that because just like men, some men have mommy issues. You got some women that have daddy issues because the daddy was either not there or when he was there, he wasn't there or he was abusive. You know, he may have been a sexual predator. He may cheated and treated, you know, their mom like like a dog and stuff. So when females have those kind of experiences, sometimes it can cause them to gravitate to guys that are like that or not appreciate and not appreciate a really good man who won't treat them that way. Then you got men who may have seen their mom in bad relationships with their own biological dad or with, you know, a man that may have cheated on her, that may beat her, abuse her, may have did things to her. And a lot of times, guys be like, I'll never become like my dad. I'll never want to be like that. But then, even if they don't full scale become like the man that abused their mom or treated their mom any kind of way, sometimes they still end up taking on some of those traits, even if it's the narcissism, uh, even if it's the manipulativeness, even if it's the cheating, the philandering, and the infidelity, you know, even if it's the lying or it's something that they take on, some kind of character and persona of their dad or that male that was in their life as their father figure or male role model, sometimes they would take on the negative more so than the positive because the negative is just like when you think about something good that happened versus something bad that happened, most people remember things quicker that happen to them negatively than they do that happen to them good. Like for me, I can remember when someone asked me about my childhood, I'm gonna be realistic about this. The main thing that comes to me immediately is the negative thing because I had so much negative stuff that I dealt with as a child. I immediately remember the negative things quicker when someone asks about my childhood versus anything. I have to really think and process about and think about the positive things. I know what I did have some good moments. I have to think about those good moments. But the bad ones, I don't have to ever think about it. They just come. I can instantly. So that shows the effect that negative things and negative experiences that a person have experienced can have on their everyday thought process and how easy it is for them to think of those negative things and to embrace them and to, you know, characterize them, you know, become those characteristics. And it's really sad. So we as women and men, we have to learn to talk. And when you have someone who just don't want to do anything to help your relationship, like I try to go to counseling, I try to do a lot of stuff to save the relationship. And I was not getting the cooperation. I was not getting the commitment. And I say it this way, when you really want to be in a relationship, and you really want your relationship to work, you're going to do every single thing possible to fix it and to make it work before you walk in. You're going to try every option. Every You're not going to leave a stone unturned. But when a person is not willing to do that, they have already just told you that they don't give a you know what. And it doesn't matter to them because They know that not only can they just walk away, but they know they can get somebody else. And so it doesn't matter how you feel or what you think. You know, they have devalued you. They have disrespected you. They have dishonored you. And they have no more loyalty towards you. They never had it from the beginning. Because when you have true loyalty for someone, you're not going to just abandon it. Especially when you know that you are the reason why certain things are happening the way they are. When you know that you are the common denominator, you're not going to just walk away. If you really want the relationship to work. And that's even on a job. You got people that they have a supervisor that really tries to mentor them and get them constructive criticism, try to help them. But some people would just rather walk away because it's easier. I just quit and start over. I get me another job. It's so easy to do that. It doesn't take no effort to walk away. It doesn't take no effort to quit. That's weakness. That's not strength at all. So what you're just pretty much displaying is that you're weak. And when you're weak emotionally and when you're weak spiritually, when you're weak psychologically like that, you cannot lead nobody. You're not in a position to lead anyone. You can't even lead yourself right now. So how are you going to lead somebody else? And as a man, I'm one of those people, one of those women. I like for a man to be able to lead and to be able to guide and be and have the wisdom, the knowledge and the understanding how to. I love that. I like to be able to sit back and be a pretty woman. I want to be able to sit back, be able to cross my legs, and know that he will be able to handle things. I'm not one of those women that alpha females and just wanting and wanting to run everything and wanting to be the center of attention and wanting to dominate. I like to sit back. I like to see. That's sexy to me. That's very sexy to me. A man who can execute power and authority like that, but be very humble and meek and gentle with it, not cocky with it, not arrogant with it, not boastful with it, not proudful with it. Be proud of himself, be proud with you, but not proudful towards, with arrogance and cockiness. So, but um, I think I'm done now because Mr. Brown has pretty much closed me out. So I thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time. God bless, one love. This is yours truly, this is Chassie Worms, aka All That Chaz, aka the Slayer. Please join me this Friday at 8 p.m. I'm going to be interviewing the lovely Grammy, multi-Grammy award winner, Tony award winner, Ace award winner, um, Image award winner, Jennifer Holiday, the legendary Jennifer Holiday, the original Dream Girl. Yes, when we interview her Friday at 8 p.m. Also, Saturday here on IG Live, we're going to be giving away $50 to me and Melissa Rose from Onesie, pop artist Melissa Rose. She's a ministry artist. Go on her onesies. Onesies. I have the flyers and stuff on my website, www. Right here, you see this website behind me, www. Let me point this way. Wait a minute. Am I pointing right? Okay. Sorry, I go this way. All right. This is the website, www.HEENLLC.com. Go to the website. It's right on the homepage, and you can access it. You can see everything that I'm into with my Gloves On campaign, all of that good wonderful stuff. So just go to the website and make sure you do Saturday at 8 p.m. on IG Live if you want to sing, if you can sing, and like karaoke style, you sing or whatever, just a song, and you're voting for everybody. Like, yeah, they pick you, you win cash money to your cash app. We don't compensate for the charge now that cash app charges. We don't do that, but we're going to give you some, you'll win the prize. So if you wear a onesie and you do it and you sing and you win, there's going to be an additional prize added to that, additional money added to that. So, but make sure you go to this website, okay? It's Saturday Goes On campaign petition, or you can order a calendar, 2021 calendar for my Girls On campaign, and or make a donation towards my Girls On campaign. And all of those details is on the website. So just go on the website right there, www.dhtpnllc.com for details. This is so weird to me. Okay, God bless the little gone for real this time. Out, 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 like, damn. Look, I don't even know what I'm doing. What I'm doing? Do I supposed to be exiting? I got to exit out of this. Oh, I turned my mouse off. Dang. Yeah, I'll help me. Pray for me. Pray for me. Everybody pray, pray. Sing a pray for me. Everybody say pray for me. Oh, pray for me. What? Pray, pray for me. Yeah, pray for me.